Hey, how's it going out there, folks? Welcome back here to a Sunday, about 10:54 a.m. California time here, November 17th. 2024 is the date. Latest activity shows a 1.7 here across the area of Southern California. Overnight, some larger scale activity happening around the globe with the 6-pointer, 6.1 to be exact here, across the northwestern edge here of the Philippine plate. That is in an area just shy of the subduction zone region here. That's the Kumano Ridge. That area has been put for a mega quake warning here recently in the last couple months from the Japanese government there due to elevated seismic activity out here. They feel all the movement recently down here is just a sign of a impending mega quake across the subduction zone. So we'll continue to watch it. Obviously, some further activity here early this morning with a 6.1, 5 miles deep, relatively shallow here across that area. All right, let's go ahead and check out California, see if we got anything else stirring up overnight following the events there from yesterday. A couple of earthquakes down here, 2.9 in the Coso Junction area. This is north of Ridgecrest. Also a little 2.6 earthquake, 1 o'clock this morning in the Fontana area. Now, this area yesterday had a couple 3-pointers out here, 2 of them to be exact, a 3.5 and a 3.4. Within about a few hours of each other. It looks like about just after midnight we started to experience a little swarming going on down there with some further escalation of some smaller quakes there, including that 2.6 that I just pointed out. So continue to watch that. The last earthquake here in the area, 1.0 from 5 o'clock this morning. So a little bit of activity stirring up there across the area. Very close here to the San Andreas Fault. I think that's off of the Red Hill Fault or potentially the Sierra Madre Fault zone, which is a fairly lengthy thrust fault that sits here at the base of that mountain range. Further activity out here in the last hour, 1.8 up around the Sherman Oaks area north of Los Angeles, and a couple smaller quakes here across the rest of Southern California. So as always, just good to be on guard. Be prepared. A little bit of uptick here in the last 24 hours across the Southern California region. Northern California, pretty quiet, man. We got a lot of rain coming this way. I'll show you guys here the weather forecast towards the end of this update video. One little earthquake here in the southern end of the Cascadia subduction zone with a 1.8 at, looks like 11 miles deep there into that area of the subduction zone. Pacific Northwest, pretty quiet. Not a whole lot showing up on the map here. Rest of the country, pretty quiet. Nothing going on through Yellowstone or the rest of the area. New Madrid quiet zone, the New Madrid seismic zone, I should say. It's a little quiet here today, following some events out here in the last couple days. 3.2 and a couple other 2s out there. But for now, it's just another area across the country here that can see some large earthquake activity out there. The New Madrid seismic zone is very capable of producing some upper 7s, even maybe some low 8s. Of course, the exact measurements no one knows for sure because I don't think they were measuring them back in 1811, 1812. But man, they can get some big ones. All right, let's see what else we got here across the globe. As we look at the map here, there's that 6-pointer. 6.1. Looks like another earthquake in there as well. A little 3.6 there off the coast of Japan. Typical movement here across the Philippines area southward. Australia jumping in here with a 3.4 and a 2.7. Still losing my voice here periodically, but we're getting better day by day. New Zealand, a little bit of adjustment down here across the area last night. Actually, this is early this morning with a 4.2. Nothing showing up here on the USGS map. So let's run over and check out the GeoNet servers here real quick. See what we have there for the latest information there. So 4.3, 40 kilometers north of the Milford Sound region there, South Island area. That earthquake coming in their time at 11:43. Obviously, it's not nighttime here yet on Sunday. It's only 11 in the morning here, so these guys living in the future, so to speak. 4.3 earthquake. Yeah, looks like shaking things up out there. across the South Island area. Nothing big for now. A few reports coming in there from that felt earthquake. Prior to that, some older movement there in the morning. But with all the activity here, shuffling around north and south here of New Zealand, I'm still expecting this to fill in a little bit more drastically. A 4-pointer and some 3s underneath the North Island area. Yeah, there's definitely some adjustment, but I think these guys got a little bit more further activity to go in order to catch up with all the adjustment out here that's been taking place around them. Australia, or I would hope Australia is not out here in the Central Pacific area. Goodness. Hawaii, a little bit of movement stretching out here across the Loihi Seamount. Nothing big for now. Really no major change going on there across the area of the Kilauea volcano. Just a waiting game, so to speak. Let's see here. Middle America Trench. Older activity there from yesterday. Some newer movement down here across the area southward, but it's really small earthquake activity. South America, a bunch of 2s and 3s out there as well, but really it looks a lot quieter out here across this area of the globe today. Most of the movement been centered here across the plates here, across the Philippine plate and the Indonesia Islands area and New Zealand. So we'll watch and see how things play out today. Atlantic Ocean, pretty quiet. One little earthquake way up north. That's literally at the very top of the globe there. Around the North Pole area. Who knows where the North Pole is now? It could be centered over the Atlantic Ocean. It's always moving around out here. We'll have to look into that here. But it's obviously been moving for a little while. Magnetic North Pole, that is. All right, space weather activity. Let's take a look at that, and then we'll get into weather outlook here because it's got me excited. There's a lot of rain coming. Not a whole lot of solar flare potential out here. We're dwindling down as I had expected. Not a whole lot of sunspots out here that are capable of producing any type of decent flaring. This area here on the western quadrant of the sun, well, that's further it's further decaying. It will be out of sight here, out of mind in a day or so. So I'm really not worried about that. There's our older sunspot regional group. Now, looking at the magnetic complexity here, coverage looks fairly large, but it doesn't appear to be all that complex here. We do have some magnetic lines and arches there from that sunspot group area. I'll show you guys on the far side watch over here what I'm talking about. This is from yesterday. So this regional sunspot group here on the far side of the sun, this is the eastern limb right here. This is the visible disk that we see from Earth in terms of the sunspots. This sunspot group probably right about here. So we're just barely seeing some of the magnetic lines. These have weakened drastically here in the last few days compared to what it had been on the far side about a week or so ago. Notice those deep dark colors there indicating some fairly complex sunspots. Now it looks like they've stabilized, but we won't know for sure until this sunspot group gets around to the visible eastern limb out here. But just looking at the magnetic lines here, it looks somewhat active, but again, we just don't know until they come back into a little bit more Earth-directed view, and then we'll go from there. Not a whole lot of auroras there in the forecast for now. Fairly minimal. All right, Storm Prediction Center for severe weather. Well, heads up, Texas. These guys are getting some potential severe weather today with a chance of tornado activity as well. Nothing new there, but just be on guard. 5% chance for some tornado activity. Wind damage as well. So it looks like we could get some strong outflow winds here with these thunderstorms. Centered right over there across the Texas area. Hatched area here could see 65 knots or greater within 25 miles of a point. So that includes Abilene, Lawton area, Vernon, Texas. I've been through that area a number of times out there. I love it. That's my storm chasing territory. So heads up today, and it looks like a little bit tomorrow as well across there, across the Texas area for some tornado activity, wind, and maybe even a little bit of hail threats. Nothing too spectacular, but still want to take that quite seriously there. So California, we got a number of atmospheric rivers coming in. Looks like roughly about Tuesday night in the early Wednesday morning, our first series of systems stir up there across California. And that's going to open up the storm door with a lot of rainfall. In fact, if you look at the precipitation accumulation out here from the GFS model, we're talking about over a foot of rain here across portions of Northern California, the Coast Range of mountains, maybe even dipping down here into the Sacramento Valley where we could see between 4 to 5, maybe even more inches of rainfall from these series of storms. I want to bring up a different weather model here and show you guys the accumulated precipitation. Accumulated precipitation runs. All right, so starting today, Sunday, if we take this little slider here, we go all the way out the next 7-8 days or so. You can see that trail of moisture out here tapping all the way back into some other Pacific moisture, it looks like. And that is going to bring a lot of rainfall out here. Look around the Chico area if I click this right here. Now, if this holds true, this is the ECMWF model. If this holds true, we're in trouble for some flooding out here. We haven't had any sufficient rainfall out here all winter. In fact, our decent last precipitation was, I don't know, it's been a while. I think it was last rainy season there back in February or something. We've had a little bit of measurable precipitation, but nothing, that's a ground soaker. 2/100 of an inch of rain, 1/10 of an inch of rain is not going to do squat when it comes to, doing anything with the moisture in the ground. But this year, yikes. I mean, I'll take it. I'm well prepared for flooding. I've been through it a number of times. I don't have any lowrider cars, so most of my cars are easily a foot off the ground or more. That's right. We're high riders out here. And this is just outside the Chico area, centered in the Central Valley area, Sacramento Valley, around Colusa, Williams area. We're looking at even 9 inches of rainfall, and that's still a lot down here across the Sacramento Valley area. But the way this precipitation storm system's coming in, it's pulling up moisture from this area. That is perfect for rainfall here across the Sacramento Valley. It's when we get these systems from the northwest that bring in the rainfall from this direction is where we get that significant rain shadow effect there in the Sacramento Valley. But this does not look like any type of rain shadow event. So that's the GFS or the ECMWF model. The GFS model here shows a little less here. Still about 6 inches there around the Colusa Williams area, more so up north. Wow, look at that. Coast Range going to get a lot of storm rainwater out here, man. Goodness, but we need it. Specifically around the Chico area, maybe 7 inches. Even so, that's a lot here for, 7 days or so. That's actually a lot of rainfall. Sacramento, a little bit less. Down there, of course, they're normally drier anyway, about Sacramento southward. So that will be interesting to see how this plays out. Snowfall is probably going to be pretty sufficient as well. This is the GFS model showing some significant snowfall up here across the area of the mountain ranges there outside of Shasta, outside of Redding. Wow, 67 inches of snowfall. Goodness. Out around the Lake Tahoe area, that's still quite a bit as well. We're talking feet of snow expected. That's from the GFS model. The ECMWF model, a little bit less. They're more aggressive, it looks like, on the rainfall accumulation that's going to take place out here. Never fails. So, yeah, I'm pretty happy about this. I'm definitely looking forward to the sufficient rainfall. We need it. And it looks like we're going to get it. So hang on tight. Hold on to your boots out there, water boots. You'll need them coming up midweek this week here, beginning on early Wednesday morning. And, man, I'm ready. I say bring on the rainfall. We love it out here. All right, folks, nothing major going on there for Southern California for now. Next asteroid approaches out here. Let's see what they're forecasting. For today, 68-foot airplane size asteroid here. That's fairly safe, though. That's considerably safe. And the rest of the, wow, look at that 850-foot asteroid. That's a stadium size. That we don't want that. But that's fairly safe there at over 300 or 3 million miles, almost 4 million miles there. So everything looks safe for now, folks. Seismograph stations out here, pretty quiet. One little earthquake there around New Guinea area. Let's see what we got. Nothing showing up. But I expect that definitely to fill in here. It looks like a little seismic gap zone here in the last 24 hours. Deeper activity back here should amplify stress and strain here across this area. And, of course, we'll keep an eye there in California. Although right now things look a little bit lighter out here compared to the rest of the region. With more activity out here across this area of the world. But eventually that comes to a halt, and we'll see things kick back up here across this area of the Eastern Pacific. All right, have a good day, folks. Enjoy your Sunday. Enjoy what's left here of the weekend. Just about 11:11, so make your wish. I'm out of here. Have yourself a good day. We'll catch you guys back out here for the Sunday night update. Take care, folks.